So what is up, you guys? We're back with another Eatventure video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about every single method in the game to clear cities the fastest. Yeah, so there are some strategies to take advantage of that can clear cities the fastest, and some of them work a little bit better than the others, but we're going to be just talking about all of them and pretty much just all the important ones. Now obviously people make up their own and it's whatever, but these are the most common ones, most important ones, and the fastest ones to take advantage of. So with that being said, before this video gets started, I just want to say I am trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of August, and yeah, we're actually making a very good pace. So if you guys could please subscribe, it genuinely supports the channel a lot. And then also I do have channel memberships. If you guys could please become a channel member, that will support the channel so much. So anyway, with that being said, let's get straight into this video on how to clear cities the fastest. And probably in the end of this video, I'm going to be just showing my favorite one and just what I do usually like for late game. But with that being said, this video is going to be a full breakdown on the best ways to clear cities, or like every method to clear cities the fastest. So and what I am going to be doing is kind of going back and forth between the official Discord or Eatventure server on Discord and then showcasing that within game. So stay tuned for that because there's a lot that's going to be in this video. And yeah, so anyway, link in the description if you guys haven't joined already, and let's get straight into it. So the first thing I want to do is actually go to the Discord. Now, if you guys are in the Eatventure server, you can go to detailed info, you can scroll down into clearing methods, and pretty much all of this is public, and you guys can take advantage of it if you want to reread it instead of I don't know, another method. But anyway, with that being said, let's start from the top. This video might be a little long, but full tutorial on clearing methods. Now, shout out all of the data analysis players that took advantage and spent a lot of their time finding out information like this and kind of just breaking it down into words. So yeah, so this place is for some of the most well-known and optimal clearing methods for cities and events coined by the community. And yeah, so everything in this information is very accurate. It's been tested, and so yeah, shout out to these players. A detailed description of methods for clearing cities and events can be found here. Credits to Iris and Spectre. First and last method. Now, this right here is absolutely peak. I'm not gonna lie. When to use: mid-game to late game, 95 plus instant. And then the gear and vault needed is epic or better, and then remote level 10. What stages to use on: all but last stage is recommended. Now, what does this mean, right? So a lot to unpack here. If you guys are just starting out the game, first and last isn't going to be as beneficial as the other methods, or at least just not the fastest. But first and last is the laziest, the easiest, the most turning your brain off type of strategy you can take advantage of. All you're doing is upgrading the first one, max it out, then upgrade the last one and max it out. It's the fastest for it's one of the fastest methods for just turning off your brain and not not like caring about like going through cities and just autopilot kind of, right? Now you do need decent gear, and your remote needs to be a little bit upgraded. The gear and vault needed is honestly a little optional, or not optional, but like it's important to have, but it's probably the least significant, because like, for example, if you have like a level 5 remote or something, but say you have legendary gear or something, then you can still take advantage of this method if you find it helpful. So I don't know. With that being said, don't stress about the gear and vault needed too much. Just know that you need some sort of thing to get that, right? Now, why use it? Limits customers' item choice to the most expensive item 50% of the time. So that's just common sense. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. And what stages to use on? Yeah, all but last. Usually the last one has like multiple different challenging ones that go all the way up to like 250 or something. So the timing on first and last isn't as beneficial, because it's just going to take a little bit longer if you're in like the mid game. If you're late game, then it really doesn't matter. So this is the how to use. I'll just explain that in like in-game thing, but this isn't as important. This is kind of just putting it all into words. So yeah. So open your first station and level only this station until you have enough money to open the last station. once open, focus all your money towards upgrading the last station. Selectively pick restaurant upgrades that only apply to your 2 open stations and your workers, or all affect the station, right? So now this says open your first station and level only that station until you have enough to get the other one. I kind of disagree with this. I would honestly say kind of like max, or like upgrade the first one as you're upgrading the last one and go in between a little bit. But honestly, you don't really have to stress too much about like, whoops. You don't have to stress too much about how that takes place. So yeah, and then use preferred dish, and once the last station is at max, you can freely go and upgrade all other stations to max. Yeah, so if we go to the game, which is here, oh okay, I guess this is a bad example. I'll just kind of speed run the first one. So essentially what the Discord was saying is here, let this little guy go. Yeah, so you upgrade the first one, and then when you have enough money, you upgrade the second one, max the second one out, and then upgrade all other stations after that. That is essentially the first and last method. Hopefully that kind of made sense, because it's very, very easy to kind of just get confused. This one, I mean, okay, this has 3 stations, right? So upgrade the first one. When you're able to afford the last one, you can upgrade the last one, and then basically skip this, and then don't really focus on that, and then just start upgrading this as much as possible. And then upgrade, or in the upgrade section, you just look for whatever says milkshakes. You kind of ignore, okay, I can't even afford it. Wow, that's kind of sad. So yeah, go through all of this. Yeah, you can get customers as well. Pretty important, right? And then, okay, wow, this is so embarrassing. Come on. Oh, I only have the times. Okay, that makes sense. And then I don't have the full. Oh, wow. Okay, wow. 1 second, guys. This is pretty embarrassing. Yeah, we're going to need this. We're going to need this guy. And then 2 of these cleavers. Bang, bang. We're going to just take advantage of this. And then the pets. Boom, and boom. So, yeah, okay. So hopefully that goes a little bit faster. Get this, and then get the, times 5, times 3, and then you kind of just move on from there, because that should give you enough to upgrade the rest. And then once the last one's maxed out, you kind of just focus on the other ones. So hopefully that made sense. If you guys are confused, then just no worries. So that is first and last method. Now, like I said, what I like to do is just upgrade the first one, max it out, and then upgrade the last one and max it out. The timing is not too significantly different, but I think that just takes less brain power. Like, for example, I'll just max this out immediately. Bang, bang, bang. And then usually I don't really care about like choosing which upgrade specifically. You can purchase the workers, but you just don't have to unlock the boxes. Okay, well, I guess you gotta unlock the waiters. But yeah, this is kind of what I do. Just upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. And then once that is maxed out, I can move on. Okay, let me just kind of finish this. Boom, boom, boom. And then get the times 5. Boom. Max this out, and then do the last one. And then max out the last one. Pretty much skip all other stations, because it's really, really insignificant. Like, you really don't have to worry about that. So, yep, let's just do the rest. And, oh, okay, we got a little bit more. If I watched an ad, things would go by much, much faster, but I'm kind of lazy, and I don't really want to watch the ad. So, hopefully that made sense. Anyway, let's get move into the next method. Whoops. Okay, whoops. I don't really know what happened there, but yep. Clear methods. Boom. Scroll all the way up. Boom. Okay, so next one is where is it? Wow, this is kind of long. Going tall and tall method, most well known. So going tall or tall, I mean, usually it's just tall method. I don't know. But when to use early to late game, honestly, any gear. Typically, if you have better items to use, this is good. What stages to use, all including events, very important, as it says including events. Why to use focus investments means focus gains, and to begin with, it acts as a permanent favored item buff and can carry you through stations quickly. So this is very, very important, because what this does is essentially works better in almost anything, and it just takes a little bit more brain power, but it does go by very, very quick, right? So basically you open your first one, buy all restaurant upgrades, and then station upgrades that you can afford, open workers, boxes, tables, blah blah blah, and repeat this until the first one's max, and then max out the next one, and then max out the third one, and then keep doing it. So it's very, very easy to just catch on. Like, I mean, this is not like rocket science, right? Top method, just max out first one, max out second one, max out third one, right? So between the first and last method and tall method, those two strategies are probably the best. Now there are other ones to take advantage of depending on where you're at, so stay tuned for that in the video, but you can pretty much see the idea, right? We're gonna just upgrade the first one, upgrade as much as we can, boom, and then once that's maxed out, we can we can unlock a bunch of the upgrades like that, and then we can get all these waiters, blah blah blah, and then keep upgrading this, boom boom boom, perfect, and then we do the same thing with the upgrades, and then we do the same thing with the soda. Pretty much like that's it. That's all you do, right? Do this, and then going back, and then once the first one's maxed, we max out the next one. So you guys have definitely seen me take advantage of this strategy before in multiple of my videos, because between the first and last and the going tall, it's a very upgrade one station, max it out, and then upgrade the next one, max it out. Very straightforward. It goes by one of the quickest, and hopefully that clears up like any confusion. So yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Boom. So yep, that's that. Split tall. Oh my gosh, I hate how that does that. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Split tall. Mid to late game, high all workers benefits. So that's something to keep in mind. So gear and vault, like I said, I mean, this could honestly range. What stage is the last stage? Yep, completely agree with this. Flying to the next city or in events. Why to use? By skipping some stations, you get near the first and last method benefits without the slow crawl of upgrading the final station when it has a 35-second cook time. This is similar to the going tall method, except you skip stations. So yeah, like I said, split tall. You go here. Basically, you're upgrading the first station, maxing it out like this, right? Boom, 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 boom. Max it out, and then upgrade all these upgrades. Should not take long, especially this one. This one's actually very quick, which is super nice. Like that. Upgrade all of this like that. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. And should not take long to max that out when we get all this upgrades. Like that. And then we upgrade the rest of the upgrades until we can't afford it, and then we're splitting this, so we're skipping this one and then maxing out this one, and then we'll skip the next one, max out that one, skip the next one, max out that one. So hopefully that kind of made sense. Split tall is very similar to tall, but you're kind of just skipping through the stages because it really is insignificant to keep doing those. So like that, split tall is very similar to tall, like I said. Hopefully that doesn't get confusing, but split tall is very good for the last one, and then tall method is good for pretty much any other stage. So anyway, modified split tall. So this is very important, because this one is like way more specific, and it kind of uses brain power at the first part of it, and then once you do it over and over again, it's not like as complicated, I guess. So modified split tall when to use mid to late game, and then yeah, the gear, it doesn't really matter too much what stages to use on. The flight stage, right? So the very next one, and then in events, probably the most like challenging ones, like yeah, extreme impossible difficulties may be tough for this, especially mood and mind. So that's something to keep in mind. Why to use? Very similar income, but you skip 2 to 3 stations. Yeah, so exactly. So skipping 2 to 3 stations basically means okay, well, this kind of just gives the whole rundown. I'll kind of just explain it on my own, right? So modified split tall, same thing still applies. We upgrade the first one, we max it out as much as we can, boom 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 boom, like that, and then I'm just gonna like literally sit here and just max this out. Should not take long. If I watch that ad, like I said, it'll go by very quick, but I'm too lazy and I don't really care. So anyway, boom boom boom, perfect. We'll do the rest of those like that. Get that to like, I don't know, like 150-ish. But basically, once we have this maxed out, we skip 2, we skip 3, and we go straight to 4. Or, I mean, we skip 2, we skip 3, and go straight to 4. And then once we do that, we'll have a lot more time, or we'll save a lot more time to get to the last station. Once we max out the last station, we kind of finish the rest. So hopefully that kind of made sense. We're going to skip 2, and then do the third one. Skip 2, and then do the third one. So, yeah. Don't get confused between other strategies, because that one sometimes, you know, it can get confusing, and it's totally okay if you do get confused. But we're going to max all of this out like that, and then skip, upgrade. So hopefully that kind of made sense. Yeah, this should not take long to max out either. So boom, boom, boom. And then once we, I'll do one of that, upgrades, boom, perfect. And then that should, whoops, we didn't get that yet. The nuggets is there. And then that should let us max that out very, very quickly. One or two more little pouches, boom, boom, perfect. So that's modified split tall. Very, very simple. Hopefully you guys don't get confused, right? Whoops, boom, boom, and boom. Where is the other one? Okay, so the stairs method. This is for very early game. I'm talking like early, like when you have like starting to get epic gear. This is good, but honestly, it's like, yeah, an easy method for new players. That's pretty much all it describes, right? So stairs, open the first station and upgrade it to the second gem tier. So what does that mean, right? Now let's just imagine this is the first one. We open the first one and get this to the second gem. So it's going to take a while, but boom, we get that to the second gem. Perfect. And then we go here. Then open the second station and upgrade that to the first gem tier. So imagine this is first, this is second. We're going to upgrade that to the first gem tier, like that. Go back to the first station, upgrade that to the, upgrade that to this one, or to the next tier, like that. Upgrade this one to the next tier, like that. And then, yeah, repeat that, or I guess we go back to a third station. Yeah, once we get that to level 25, we'll get to the third station all the way to like this. So as you can see, this is the stairs. This is 3 stars, this is 2 stars, this is 1 star. Now we're going to upgrade this to the next star. Boom. We're going to upgrade this to the next star. And then we're upgrading the third station to the next star. So first one's at 4, second one's at 3 stars, and the third one is at 2 stars. Hopefully that made sense. But that's essentially the stairs method. Pretty straightforward, but it's only for early game because obviously you're not going to have like the gear to speed run most of these cities. So use the stair method when you're basically just starting out because that will go through the cities just a little bit faster than just like any other strategy kind of. Now, umbrella method. So this one is a little complicated, I would say. There's kind of like a lot to it, I'm not gonna lie. But hopefully this kind of, I'm not really gonna explain this one too much. I genuinely think this is not like anything people need to take advantage of. But so what stages to use on? Mainly events, extreme, and impossible difficulties, but can be used on flight stages as well. Now for events, like, I honestly don't really play it that much. I only do the first and last because it takes the least amount of brain power. But Umbrella Method will get you through the events the fastest. Now, unfortunately, I can't really showcase that in an event right now, but you guys pretty much get the idea, right? So why to use this method focuses on the highest possible income dish first. But instead of one dish, it gives customers an 80% chance of getting the highest value dishes. Another advantage to this method is that the bigger multipliers for the stations come relatively faster than with other methods, which is very true. So open the first station and level it as high as possible. Once available, open the fourth station and begin leveling it until the third to last station is available. So essentially, what is that saying, right? You're skipping a lot. You're skipping like the majority of these stations just to get like the most amount of bang for your buck, if that makes sense. Continue this until the very last station is available while leveling the other stations. Once you have the last four stations open, begin leveling them along with the first station to keep them all relatively equal income, which makes perfect sense. Hopefully that doesn't get any confusing. Use popular dish when with an station upgrade. Yep, makes perfect sense. And then continue leveling each station once you're almost done with the last station. Then you can upgrade the rest. So essentially, what you're doing is like, it's kind of like the modified tall a little bit, but you're skipping a lot. So for example, you'll skip this one, and then you'll let's say like you'll open the fourth to last. So 1, 2, you'll open this one, and then if that kind of makes sense, you begin the third, choose the third to last, which is going to be this one, and then yeah, so you essentially, this makes sense. Now, umbrella method really only for events, so it's hopefully, like, you guys can watch this video as well too. This probably showcases it in the event. Yeah, this is definitely a much better showcase, but hopefully, oh wow, 14 minutes for now. Okay. Hopefully, if you guys are interested, you can take advantage of the umbrella, but I'm not going to showcase it too much because it's mostly for events and I can't show in events, but you guys get the idea, right? Guidelines and methods strats for completing cities and events from the fastest with any solo build. Now, this is essentially the same, I'm not gonna lie. Like, for example, if you want to do first and last method or tall method, the solo build pretty much applies, because you're just playing the game the same way you would have all workers, except unlocking the workers, right? And then your substats, or your like your build stats or whatever, are all going to be within relatively the same like things, right? Like 100% instant, 100% perfect, and a ton of walk speed. So hopefully that makes sense. But you can watch most of these playthroughs because it does help. It's kind of just showcasing everything, yeah, I mean, this literally just showcase all of it, so hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so most effective thus fastest is, we'll just notice this applies without using the ×5 shot boost. As you progress, you refine your gameplay, which will find which route is the most optimal to clear cities. So stage 1 through 3, max check inside the vault, tall method. Stage 4, tall method, or like skip 2 or skip 3. With that many stations, you can just keep doing tall with the drive-through first and last, and then with the last stages on pretty much all of them, tall or skip a lot. Now, results may vary for the lowest gear, but keep in mind that the last stages is essentially just like different variations of tall, but yeah, tall method, one of the easiest, first and last, drive through, like, it's all relatively the same, but it is the most effective and the fastest to clear cities the most efficient way. So stages with waiter stations, treat station 4, or any immediate chef station as station 1. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. If it starts as waiters only, then with your checkbook, you should be able to unlock like the third station or something where your chef is at. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, these are all examples of how to clear cities the fastest. If the way I explained it didn't really help, this one kind of showcases it pretty in-depthly, and it gives you pretty much the idea of what to take advantage of. So yep, take advantage of that. Tall method, yep, all that stuff. So anyway, we're gonna end this video here. Pretty much just a full rundown on how to clear cities the fastest, and every like method on clearing cities. So anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.